Let's go!
There's a new trailer. What? 4K? Oh, game is Steam Deck verified also, dude. It's crazy. They're doing everything.
Is everyone okay? Don't let up.
Bro, what are you running this on? God damn, what are you running this on? An i3 and a 2060? Granted, you're getting 1080-30, but to be real, if this is a 1080-30 image, that's kind of nuts that it could even run that shit, dude. You got to realize that, like, I played this game at 30 FPS on my first playthrough because that shit was so blurry on a PS5. Look at the image fidelity, even at the lowest for that hardware. I'm very curious if that hits like a solid 30. I'm very curious, dude. Because to be honest, like, it's got all the glitz and glam. It still looks good. There's no way that image is from a 2060. That's what I'm saying, dude. And granted, we're seeing the Unreal Engine's motion blur. So you get 1080-60 on like a somewhat modern Ryzen and a 2070. Okay. And again, like 1080p image in this game does not look bad. Looks pretty decent. I wonder if that's with DLSS in any way. This looks pretty good. And then yeah, on Twitch, much less YouTube, you could look a little closely. But yeah, the difference in the image quality between one to the other and the resolution bump is definitely there. But it's not like dramatically different. Like this isn't that much different of a game than this, to be real. Whoa, 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 chill. Wait a minute. Watch the left. Watch the minimum. The pop-in. Everything's just literally loading in front of him. This is how the game works on PS5, by the way. It doesn't look like this. It looks pretty much like this. Go back again. Watch how like the elements like pop in. No shit, the PS5 version is this way. Even on the PS5 Pro, it is that way. Why is it that way on the PS5 Pro? Because the PS5 Pro is just producing the same image the base PS5 version was. It was just upscaling the shit out of it. So yeah, the level of detail and the pop-in of that level of detail was extremely apparent, man. It was like, oh yeah, like this is always an issue with Unreal Engine games. And clearly it was a UE4 issue in this game too. But now look at the right. Do I even see any pop-in at all? Did they fix the pop-in? Ah, they did! There's none! There's literally none! The grass isn't moving. No, no, no. This is a demonstration of like level of detail fidelity and it popping in. There's no pop-in anymore. It's gone. That was one of the biggest graphical problems of the game, to be completely honest, outside of the blurriness. The pop-in was a huge issue, dude. There is now a graphic setting that allows it to exist, that allows the game to not have those problems. The grass is missing on the left. Yeah, dude, this is like the minimum settings. Takes that shit off. That's cool. That's really cool. Again, it's not something, playing the game here, you're mostly going to get the same experience. To be completely honest, the fact that the game is like operable, this shit over here leaves me straight hopeful that there's a Switch 2 version of this game. Like, no joke. The idea that this game is scalable back to this level of hardware running at 30 FPS and shit is nuts. That you can get this shit possibly running on something like a Steam Deck, you know? It works on a Steam Deck now. It's Steam Deck verified. But even during my playthrough on PlayStation 5, on the 4K mode or the performance mode, I noticed the pop-in, dude. Like, it's almost impossible not to notice it. When you move around anywhere, like, the environment just loads around you. Like, it just, it like populates in front of your face. It's almost impossible to not see it. So yeah, it was a part of the experience that like, oh, I'm just playing the game. It definitely would take me out of the experience every once in a while. It's almost like no difference on these. Dude, even on minimum specs, this looks crazy good. What the hell? Even on like the most like bare bones hardware, this looks crazy good. It's funny, I almost see no difference between these settings. There's very little. There's very little. There's so little. But will there be stuttering? And there's the question, right? And there's the question. Is it going to have the typical, the hair is obviously the biggest difference. Is it going to have the typical Unreal Engine stuttering? Or as any game that is a UE4, UE5 game, that has a whole bunch of stuttering and loading issues. And it isn't as much like pop-in problems. No, it's mostly like the loading of assets. When you traverse from one part of the world to the other, how does it hide that, you know? And the only thing that is sort of good news is that wasn't a problem in Rebirth on PS5. There really wasn't very many moments in that playthrough where it's like, oh, I'm running to a new area and here comes the loading in the background, and then it would like pop in. That didn't happen too much. You kind of just moved from area to area and it sort of worked. Maybe there was a little bit, but I don't remember that being an issue throughout that playthrough. It was the pop-in. I was noticing that things are like literally populating in front of me. Does PS5 Pro have pop-in? It does, yes. It's got a really high fidelity image, but it absolutely has a shit ton of pop-in. The best news from this trailer is right here. This. The fact that there's an ultra setting that quite literally really changes the environment. That's really good news, dude. That's really good. Some of you bitch, I spit on it and I threw it in the trash. And then as soon as FF7 Rebirth was out on PC, then it's coming, I spit on it and I destroyed it and I threw it in the trash. And I berated it. Every single component, every single part, every single particle that came flying out of that system, I made fun of it and told it how inferior it is. I wanted it to feel shame. The thumbnail, when we eventually have our like FF7 Rebirth on PC, is going to be me extremely happy with the PC version of the game, most likely, with a trash can showing my destroyed spit on PlayStation 5 Pro.